It's Wednesday afternoon, and my partner has yet to email me or post anything on Blackboard. I decided to play it safe and make a pro contingency rebuttal based off of arguments that I would make if I was on the con side. And some of these come directly from mainstream media and other places like that. So let's get started. Opponent's argument number one: unpaid maternity leave encourages women to return to work, thus abolishing the glass ceiling. Firstly, this argument is unfounded. According to our gender basics reading, pages 110 to 118, a woman's actual biological differences than men, like their monthly periods and pregnancy, has little to do with work stratification of women in the workplace. Rather, it's the attitude and perception of the actual workplace that drags them down from both on the men and the women's side. Okay, secondly, if you don't buy the negation of this argument, which is making this argument completely untrue, then let's take an alternate approach. Hypothetically, if this was true, that unpaid maternity leave encourages women to return to work, then according to my introductory arguments found in the original Blackboard post, the balance of society would be broken even more because you can cross-apply any of my introductory arguments to show that society would take a huge blow on whole, not just women, but men, women, children alike. My first introductory argument is a direct negation because I believe I talked about how women will actually be lagging behind in the workplace because of unpaid maternity leave. So I'll just leave that one at that. The second introductory argument shows that while women are rushing back to work, their children are less unsupervised. And that would mean that they would wreak havoc upon society because, as we all know, that unsupervised children eventually, well, not eventually, most unsupervised children become social deviants in adulthood. And my third introductory argument, even though it's not directly related to social havoc, but if you apply that to international relations, other countries will label us as unprogressive and who do not have the common decency to establish paid maternity leave, alienating us from the international playing field. So our opponent's argument number two is that paid maternity leave ruins the capitalistic nature of America. This point can really be only argued from a philosophical standpoint. It is true that America was founded on capitalism with events like the Boston Tea Party and the famous quote, giving liberty or giving death. However, America also values justice more than anything else. In our gender basic readings, page 330 to 335, men are the ones that drive women to sex and by relation, pregnancy. It is unfair and unjust to force women to bear the brunt of a long and stressful process that they did not initiate in the first place. Furthermore, going deeper into philosophy, what really good comes really out of capitalism? For over 100 years, people like Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels have always attributed capitalism to many social problems. However, while complete socialism is not recommended on the pros' part, pulling away from America's almost anarchistical capitalism has been long advised. The opponent's argument number three: the federal government is already in large amounts of debt and cannot afford to dole out paid maternity leave. Nowhere in our debate legislation states that it would be the federal government who brings the cash. From a realistic viewpoint, any of the new legislation will be an extension of the FMLA, which previously described as the Family and Medical Leave Act. Therefore, this would only apply to businesses with 50 or more people. If a business has more than 50 employees, it will be logical to assume that they have the means to extend paid maternity leave to their employees. Even in the extreme scenario where this legislation will be independent of FMLA, include all businesses, maternity leave only applies to women, and a small minority of them. It will be very uncommon to find a business with 10 employees, 5 of which are women, and all of them are taking paid maternity leave. Opponent's argument number four: if a woman cannot finance her own pregnancy, she should not be having sex. Firstly, this can be negated by bringing up Don Marquis from Gender Basics. The purpose of sex is to reproduce, and reproducing is a critical aspect of human nature. However, if Don Marquis is too archaic, my argument found in rebuttal argument number two stands valid. Women have very little choice when it comes to sexual relations. Thank you very much.